actually, sorry, but now everybody can hear me, right? Okay, that's cool. So I'm starting again. I'm so sorry, but now I can see it's all good. Thanks, Andre, for the information, and thanks to all the others. Sven, sorry, I haven't seen it any earlier. So actually, yeah, I talked a lot, but I haven't really started yet. That's what I'm usually doing, a lot of yeah. So okay, now we are all together. So my question is, why would it be useful for you to know how somebody will react in advance? How to know that, like if you could trust somebody, if somebody will lie to you, if somebody will betray you, if somebody will cheat on you. So why would it be useful for you to know in advance how people will treat you in the future? And I'd like to know why you're joining us tonight. So if you're here intentionally, please write into the chat why you are interested in this topic. And I can see Andreas is typing again, hopefully. So I'd love to hear from you to get more information also on the other channels. Jenny will just let me know what you say when you're listening to us on Facebook or Instagram. And you can chat directly to me when you're on TikTok and Zoom. So please let me know why human behavior, the prediction of human behavior is of interest for you. So maybe some of you have made some bad experiences. And so it's something we all go through when we've made some bad experiences, that we start changing the way we think about people, the way we behave, the way we trust people. We may lose all trust in all people. This could definitely happen. So, and I see somebody is talking to me here. It's Andre. It's important to know yourself and others. Definitely, Andre. I totally agree. It's very important. Why is that of importance? Yeah, you could ask, because if you're just interested about yourself, that's fine. But then you may also wonder why you are reacting like this. So then it's also for you, this webinar is for people who want to learn something about human behavior and how to predict it. That's a new method you may never have heard of before. I know this for many years already, and I can promise you it's very, very useful. I'm using it every day. So yeah, right. It's actually a good question. How is that possible to predict human behavior? Andre says it's easier to start a conversation with someone because you know how to start it. That's brilliant, Andreas. And I think it would be quite nice for all of us to be a bit more in communication, not just from your mobile, but also in real life, and the more you know what you can expect from people, the easier it is to talk to them, and if you believe maybe that's the result of your earlier experiences, bad experiences with people. But if you start to withdraw yourself from others because of this bad experiences, then it doesn't get any easier. That's really my message. The more people are withdrawn from others, I know it's a kind of protection. They think, oh, I will get into troubles when I talk too much to people. But the more you withdraw from others, the worse you feel. That's really like the interaction with others can give you a lot of pleasure when it's done right with the right people. And thanks for the heart. That's very nice. So thanks, Sophie. That's very nice. Yeah, I'd like to know who else wants to tell me what's why he or she is curious about the prediction of human behavior. You know, like when you have had a relationship with somebody and the person was cheating on you, it's a very, very traumatic, can be a very, very traumatic experience when you find out later that somebody you trusted was just cheating on you. I mean, that's really bad. I don't know if this had happened to you, but I don't hope so, but you know, that's something, right? And whenever we are surprised of somebody's reaction, it's like a little shock, you know, it's a bit overwhelming. You think you can trust a friend of yours, a colleague, your boss, your parents, you know, your best mate, your siblings, it doesn't matter. You are trusting somebody, and then this person is lying to you, does the opposite of what you expect. Or maybe you ask somebody for some help and that person is just making up a story instead of just telling you straight away why he or she doesn't want to help you. So, okay, but it's good to know in advance, actually, what you can expect of others. Imagine you have a friend and that friend, I don't know if that had ever happened to you, but if somebody's stealing or is, you know, acting weird or against you behind your back, maybe you have experienced something like this. You had a very good friend. You were sharing a lot of secrets, you know, something that was very personal for you. And then after a while, you realize that this person you put so much trust in was talking bad behind your back, you know, about you. That's very hard to find out. So whenever you are prepared that something like this could happen, that's very good. You know, then the shock is a bit smaller. Or there's no shock at all because you expected that person to behave that way. But if you start to think that everyone is like this, that you shouldn't put any trust into anybody anymore, or that all people are bad, that, you know, everyone has bad intentions towards you, then the big troubles are starting. You know, the only way you can just protect yourself is then to withdraw. And that's something that causes a lot of other reactions. So basically, we are trapped. To be honest, we are trapped. Yeah. So you're either getting hurt every time because you don't know what to expect from people, or you withdraw yourself, and that, you know, cuts off a lot of, you know, amazing moments you could have with the good people. Yeah, can you see that? So I know this seems to be so common that people think that to withdraw from others is the best they can do. And I totally understand. So let me know if you ever had the idea that it's not good to have too many friends or too many people you're sharing your, private stuff with, just to protect yourself from being hurt. And that's definitely something I know a lot of people have. They don't even expect that others are just good, I don't think so that everyone is good either, but I think the core of somebody, the deepest part of somebody is always good. Yeah. And with these tools I'm talking about tonight, you can prevent yourself from being fooled, from being lied to, from suffering, from the interactions with others. So it's very important. So basically, improvement in life can only take place when we are willing to learn, right? So if you just live with the knowledge you have right now for the rest of your life, and you wouldn't learn anything else about human behavior, okay, that means you will continue to, like experiencing all these bad reactions of others without knowing in advance that it will happen. Yeah, does that make sense to you? It's really, yeah, just imagine it would go on like this, no more knowledge is coming on top to what you already have. So that means, like every one of us, I bet every one of us had at least one friend he or she was trusting, and in the end they got betrayed. So yeah, and we didn't do that on purpose, we just liked the other person. And actually we can blame ourselves for not being good enough in the prediction of that this person would act the way they did. So it's all up to having enough knowledge about human behavior. Yeah. And I'll tell you, it's a big advantage to have knowledge about that. So let's see. So we go into the content now. I will show you something that is very interesting. Andreas, I think you know that already. So, so hopefully it's not boring for you, but it's very nice you're here. Again, I think you've seen the German version of it already. Yeah. So we have a definition. I'm showing you something about a book. And first of all, I'd like to give you a definition, because we are talking about something that is called the emotional tone scale. And a tone, the definition of a tone, is the momentary or continuing emotional state of a person. Yeah, can be just now, or it goes on, and it's a kind of, yeah, it's a kind of ongoing emotion that person has. Then there is something that is called a tone scale. A tone scale is a scale which shows the successive emotional tones a person can experience. So unfortunately, I don't have a picture right here where you see the different emotional levels there are, but there is a beautiful picture you can also get here at BestYou. And this scale shows the different emotional tones So the momentary or continuing emotional states a person can have. So you, on that scale, you see emotions such as fear, anger, grief, enthusiasm, and others, which people experience. Yeah. And a tone scale tells you how people behave. If people are on a certain level on the tone scale, then they behave in a certain way, and you can predict how they will behave. It may sound a bit a bit brave, a bit cheeky, you know, what I'm saying here. But so what I'm talking about is actually, it comes from the book of L. Ron Hubbard, Self-Analysis. And it says, I'm reading here from page 65. So it says, the position of an individual on the tone scale varies through the day and throughout the years, but is fairly stable for given periods. One's position on the chart will rise on receipt of good news, sink with bad news. Yeah, this is what we all know. We are going up and down on the emotional scale. Something good is happening, yay, we're happy. Something bad is happening. So, okay, this is the usual give and take with life. Good and bad things, yeah? Everyone, however, has a chronic position on the chart, which is unalterable. Do I pronounce that the right way? Unalterable. Despite if you are using the procedure which is described in this book. Yeah. So you will find a chart in this book, which is called the Hubbard chart of human evaluation. And this is the greatest tool I've ever seen when it comes to human behavior. So you have the most important emotional levels on that chart. And then I can show it how it looks like. Yeah. And then you have 24, or let's say one of these columns is for the emotions. So we have another 23 columns with different types of, you know, life, with different areas or subjects in life. And I'll give you a little idea about what you can find in this Hubbard chart of human evaluation. So basically, there is a column that is called the handling of truth. There you will see, and I will give you an example later, there you can see if somebody is lying or if somebody is actually telling you the truth. Then you find a column that shows you different emotional human reactions on the courage level. So how, you know, how much courage does a person have in life? You can also find what someone is talking about and likes listening to. You know, you may have experienced that when you tell people, let's say you're telling somebody a joke. I know it's a bit old-fashioned to do so. These days, hardly anyone knows knows jokes anymore, but I'm a bit older, so this is what we did to entertain each other. We were telling each other jokes. And so you may have experienced that when you tell somebody a joke, some people are just, they are laughing, you know, they have lots of fun, and others are very serious. Some may even attack you for, oh, that's a bad joke. You know, so people's reactions can be very different. They can differ. And it's all up to their emotional level. So it's a very, very fantastic tool. And you can also find a column showing you the sexual behavior of a person and his attitude toward children. You know, some of us, they plan a family, some of us don't. Some want to have children, others don't. Yeah, there's a big variety about, you know, how people think when it comes to sexuality or children. And there is a way to predict the method that a person is using to handle others. This is also very important because, yeah, when you're reading through the whole column to see how a person reacts on a different emotional level, you can see already, you know, that there are some people you don't want to be friends with. So, okay, good to know. There's also, and this is quite interesting, there's also a column showing you the state of your possessions. So that is also something that is being affected by our own emotions. Yeah. The state of your possessions. Are they well taken care for, you know, cared for or not? It's all, is it all a bit dirty or messy, or, you know, you can see that in that column. You will find the value as a friend. And there are actually people with a better value than others. And you can see how well you are understood by others. I hope you understand me quite well. Otherwise, it will show the position of myself on that scale if you don't. Yeah. And it will also show you your potential success. Quite interesting, huh? How you can have an influence on all these things, you know, on yourself. So that's a great thing. That's what I was telling you this book can do, because it contains a procedure, a method you can use to influence your own emotional level, your own tone level. The tone says how the person's emotional level is. Oh, I have to, oh my God, I'm sweating here, it's so warm. So we don't have an aircon here. That's, yeah, I'm happy we have a heating in winter, but in summer it's a bit annoying. Okay, so let's go on. Let's look into the column, the handling of truth, because I think nobody here likes to be lied to by others, right? I don't. I think you're not loving this either if somebody's lying to you. So I'm looking into that scale. Let's see what's written in there. It's quite interesting. So we have different emotional levels we will go through now. The first one is called strong interest. That's very high on that scale. If somebody's strongly interested, you know, he's full of life, he's interested, or she is interested. So that's good. And in the column of handling the truth, it says on the level of strong interest, it says the person is truthful. So that's somebody who's actually telling you the truth. Then we have a level where somebody feels bored. That is called boredom. You know, boredom is an emotion. And if somebody is bored, his handling of truth says he's insincere and careless to facts. Careless to facts and insincere. He's not very truthful. Yeah, and boredom isn't that bad. sorry, isn't that low on that scale, but he's already insincere. On fear, which is even deeper than boredom, on fear, somebody is ingenious and vicious. Perversions of truth we have here. Ingenious means to harm someone in a hidden way. Yeah, it's covered up. And it also says he or she covers lying artfully. So that's something, oh yeah, that person is actually lying in an, you know, in a very creative way. And it's covered, so it's hidden. Not nice, huh? So I only gave you 3 of the emotional levels, but there are some more. 2, 4, 6, 8. We have 9 different emotional levels. And on all these levels, you can see how the person is handling the truth. And let's go to the next column, which is quite interesting as well. I think it's called Your Value as a Friend. What would you think is what value do you have as a friend? Could you put that into the chat? Would you think that people could trust you? You would, you know, like you like to help others when they ask you for minor things, you know, nothing big like give me $1 million or something. That's not what I'm talking about. It's like, oh, I don't know, could you tell me blah, you know, easy things. So what do you think? How would you evaluate yourself, the value you have as a friend for others? You know, that's quite interesting because we mostly, I think we mostly think of what's the value of others towards us. But if you look at it the other way around, then yeah, you might think like, yeah, no, I'm a good friend. I think so. Oh no, I don't make any good friend. But whatever you think of yourself, you, with this chart, you can actually spot yourself, because the first thing after reading the chart is you start taking a test. And this test will help you to spot yourself on that scale. And that's quite interesting to see, yeah, your own value as a friend. You know the state your possessions are in. And but it's quite interesting to read it through, and then you can actually see, oh yeah, that's me, you know, like that's fantastic. So there are lots of information. And now we are looking at the column number 19, your value as a friend. So somebody who's on strong interest, very high emotional level, strong interest, your value as a friend is very good. It says very good. At boredom, it says it's still fair. Yeah, good. And on fear, it's dangerous liability. You have a dangerous liability as a friend. So you should look around your own environment, and you can also evaluate the people you're dealing with when you know, look at this chart. It's very interesting to see when you find somebody. The book explains how you work with a chart, but the way I do it is when I've seen something, yeah, I know the columns, and when I saw how a person reacts, when I see the emotion someone has, then I know how the person will react in all these other parts of life, you know, and this is how you can predict human behavior. And the good thing is you don't need to believe in it. You can perceive if it's true or not. when you observe people's behavior, then you can look into the chart to see if it's actually true or not. And once you gain some trust in what you see and in the chart, of course, then it starts getting easier to deal with others. That's really cool. So would you like to, know how to handle people around you? Because people's reactions are so differently that, sometimes, or when it comes to business matters, you may think, oh yeah, that person promised me to do something, and then you realize, oh no, that person didn't do anything. Yeah, this is something you can perceive directly. Yeah, did someone kept his promise or not? But sometimes what you can't see, if this person is acting without your own knowledge, is doing something against you. So I had the situation that a person, I don't know, was blaming me for doing something I haven't done. Okay, good. I knew what to expect from that person, because I just explained everything to that person, but he didn't believe me. So, okay, fine. Yeah, that's the way it is. But much later on, so I think 2 years later, that happened already 2 years ago, that person was talking bad about me behind my back. I didn't know anything, but I found out about it. So it didn't shock me at all, because I knew already that I can expect that from that person. So, and that's great, like, okay, it's not nice, but it's not a shock. You don't feel overwhelmed by it. You just, okay, that's it. Yeah. I can trust myself because I knew already. So that's also good, and you will see how differently people are reacting. And you can see, oh, this person is actually good for me. That person isn't. This person I should work with. I could do some business with or not. All these things are very, very useful to know in advance. So if you want to improve your life, if you want to gain the knowledge there is, just write info book into our chat, and I will get in touch with you to give you more information about the procedure you can do. Once you have the book, you can actually start lifting yourself up, raising your own emotional level, and that is an adventure. That's something I can definitely promise. If you do it the way it is described in the book, it's definitely a great adventure. So yeah, that's all for tonight. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you had a pleasant time with me, listening to me here. And thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow. Jenny will be live tomorrow in German, and see you next week again. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.